Hello and welcome to California Bountiful. I'm your host, Aubrey Aquino. Most people may think sturgeon farming and caviar production happens overseas, but most of it really occurs all over the United States, with more than 3/4 of the nation's caviar production happening in Northern California, like right here in Wilton.
This is Zarnikolai Sturgeon Ranch, and we are the nation's only certified sustainable sturgeon farm in the United States. South of Sacramento, most people don't think of the caviar capital of the country, but that's okay. We're kind of like a hidden gem here.
This unassuming location is the largest sturgeon farm in America, less than 5 miles from the rivers the sturgeon naturally inhabit.
One of the unique things that people often don't recognize is caviar farming now goes on all over the world. It started right here in Sacramento County. So Zarnikolai represents one of the oldest farms in the world. With the help of UC Davis back in 1984 is when we really broke ground and started the process of aquaculture, proving that in the right environment, sturgeon could grow amazing caviar in a farm setting. But sturgeon farming in caviar making is a slow food. The work we do today we'll realize in about 2030. 6-7-year-old sturgeon, sometimes 8-year-old sturgeon produce caviar. Only the females are the prize sturgeon that produce caviar. Unfortunately for males like myself, we're semi-useless at the farm. We have about one purpose here, and that's really to make our way to the smokehouse. So everything is a labor of love. Even the gender of our fish, we figure out about 2.5-3 years with the university's help.
Female.
And we're raising these fish as responsibly as possible. What does that mean? We're antibiotic, we're hormone free, we're heavy metal free, we're feeding sturgeon what they would eat in the wild. So we have a custom feed, which is no land-based proteins. They're eating algae, planktons, crustaceans. They're, bottom feeders, they're omnivores. So we're trying to give them, what they'd really enjoy. And as you can kind of hear from behind me, the sounds of nature. And really, that's really our goal here. Treat them how they would be in their natural environment. Over there, we have the parent sturgeon, and we do our spawning, and those cylinders are filled with hundreds of thousands of eggs.
So how old are these guys?
These are literally like 5 days old. Sturgeon in the wild have been carbon dated to live 60-100 years. When you're dealing with a white sturgeon, this is the second largest freshwater fish in the world. Our brood stock, which are like the parents of the farm, could be 8 feet long. They can weigh 200-250 pounds. Darwin referred to them as a living artifact. They are a dinosaur fish, if you will. There are no bones, there's no teeth. So they're evolutionary.
And here, their commitment to sustainability includes investing in the future and innovation.
We have a lot of firsts that go on here. So there's a lot of water conservation, energy conservation. Behind you guys is an organic greenhouse, which we started in about 2016. That was the first sturgeon powered greenhouse in the world, if you will, and it produced organic produce. And behind me is actually hyacinth. This is the original method. This is Mother Nature's organic biofilter. These are like plants that float on, tops of rivers and streams, and they have roots that go all the way to the bedrock, and they filter the sturgeon to fluent streams. We do about 20% of our energy through solar currently, and we broke ground earlier this year on an RES system. What that means is the original farm was about 30 tanks and 2 gigantic ponds with about 1 million gallons of water. The new system has 54 tanks and eliminated the use of ponds. It's a zero discharge system. It only needs replenishment for the uncovered zones for evaporation. That saves about 1 million gallons of water a year.
It's a high quality vision they practice in both their farming and food production.
Bunch of different grades. We have 6 of them, from our classic all the way up to our exotic crown jewel. We encourage you to start at our entry levels, our classics estate. They're amazing flavors of caviar. Our signature flavor is salted sea butter. So if you're a fan of freshly salted sea butter, you have your favorite sort of, tuna belly sort of flavors, that's really what caviar is all about. It's subtle, it's delicious, it's mild, it's buttery, it's unctuous. Give it a try, or if you're not as, adventurous for caviar just yet, try our smoked sturgeon. Our smoked sturgeon pate tastes like bacon to the sea dip, if you will. There are ingredients you can pronounce. There are limited ingredients in all of our items, but honestly, the caviar here grown locally is very inspired. It's a delicious item, and it's as good as anything else that's produced in the world. And go figure, this is where it really began as far as the farm caviar movement. So, take pride in local, give it a try, and you'll be pretty impressed.
Hi, I'm Leslie Dabney, the Vineyard Mom, and I am passionate about
fresh seasonal vegetables that I get at the farmer's market. Today I have a fabulous fall recipe that I'd like to share with you. It is my delicious sausage, potato, and kale soup. Let me show you how I make it. First, in my pot, I'm starting off with some garlic, some onions, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. I'm gonna cook these down till they're nice and soft. Next, I'm gonna add a ton of flavor. I have some dried oregano, some basil, a little bit of salt and pepper, and for a kick, a little bit of red pepper flakes. I'm gonna saute this together real quickly, and I'm gonna put in the base of this soup. I am using chicken stock, but you can use veggie stock if you prefer. Now to this, I'm gonna also add some potatoes. I diced and peeled them, and I'm gonna put them in, and they're gonna cook for about 5 to 7 minutes, just so they get nice and tender. Now while those are cooking, I went ahead and browned some Italian sausage, and I'm gonna add that right to my pot after about 5 to 7 minutes. It smells delicious already. Now the star of the show, I'm gonna add some fresh kale leaves. I'm gonna cook this all together for about 10 more minutes. Now, right before I'm ready to serve it, I'm gonna add a little bit of cream just to make it really rich and luxurious. Now, my favorite way to serve this beautiful soup is in a bread bowl. Now, with this beautiful meal, I have 2 wines, a red and a white. First, my red wine, it's a Pinot Noir, but if you'd like a white wine, I have a full-bodied Chardonnay. Now, for any of these recipes and wine pairings, just go to @thevineyardmomliving on Instagram. Cheers!
Later in the show, Sister, Sister, Sister. We meet a trio of NorCal siblings who are infusing the skincare market with plum passion. But first, things get a little out of pocket for our visit to a suburban flower farm. California Bountiful is brought to you by the California Farm Bureau.
Did you know Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company? They're one of America's largest financial services companies, too. Just like I'm so much more than quarterback Peyton Manning. I'm also Peyton Manning.
It's lovely, Peyton.
Did you say Peyton or Peyton?
Peyton.
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 Great work.
Thank you. For your insurance and financial needs, Peyton, Nationwide is on your side.
Bigger than ever, California Bountiful Magazine's special edition is coming out on October 1st, jam-packed with 64 pages of holiday inspiration, from gift ideas to mouth-watering recipes, plus insights from California farmers, gardening tips, and more. For just $9.99, get a 1-year subscription, or save 25% on a 2-year subscription, and get exclusive access to both print and digital content. Visit CaliforniaBountiful.com to subscribe today.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
I'm here in Sacramento at a farm that's gotten a little out of pocket. Here, a brother and sister teamed up to buy this property, and they took what existed, planted a few more seeds, and now they're growing their local business just like this farm.
Whenever anybody comes to visit, they're like, wait a minute, you have a farm out here? Yeah. So you drive down residential, take a ride at the big house, and then drive down the driveway, and everybody's like, oh my God, this is amazing. I had no idea this was back here. The only people that know we're back here are obviously the neighbors on either side and the people who walk the levee. But everybody else can't imagine that there's 4 acres back here that has all of these fruit trees, all of these flowers, the bees, they're just blown away.
Started by a sister and brother duo, this farm is self-described as a multifaceted haven where the clucking of chickens harmonizes with the rustling of fruit and nut trees.
We're a small farm, family owned.
Dawn is the farm's floral specialist.
I was a florist for many years, so I know what flowers I like and I know what I like to work with. but this is a much larger scope for us, for sure. I've always wanted a farm, and that's how my brother talked me into getting this property. First of all, he said it was a unicorn, and he said it was on the river, and he said it's a farm, you can have a farm. And I've always wanted a farm, so it was pretty easy to talk me into it. Once you tell me that I can have everything I ever wanted, all right, I'll buy it.
While brother Aaron is the visionary.
As we started to peel back the layers of the onion that is this property, we realized there already is a farm here. All sorts of things already here, so we just wanted to fix it all and bring it back to its original glory. So the house next door are family members of the person that actually built the house back in 1890, and her great-great-grandfather built the house and planted the orchard and did all of that. So it's really cool to know that history of this property, and that gives us the kind of the fire to keep it going.
The pair admits this first year has been a steep learning curve.
This year we tried to grow everything. We went, oh, that's pretty, that's pretty. We bought everything, and so many of them didn't make it. We also started too early because we were so excited. So we kind of jumped the gun a little bit on the planting. So I think that we want to narrow it down a little bit more next year and do more of the things that obviously are working for us. Even though something is gorgeous, it doesn't work for us, we're not going to do it. And then the squirrels, they eat half of it.
The chickens are our friends. We love them. We go in there and hang out with them, and they're very spoiled. They have little swings, and we've got little gyms and stuff for them. That was the first thing that we added because we eat eggs. Every few weeks we're like, oh, let's start this over here in this part of the property. Let's do that. So that's kind of how it's snowballed into now we have a farm.
And while it's still a work in progress, business is already blooming Outta Pocket.
We're in front of a celosia right now, and here is a cantaloupe. Behind me are sunflowers, zinnias. We sell them to florists, local florists. We sell sometimes right out front. We've got a little flower cart. We go to the farmer's market here in the Greenhaven Pocket area and to friends and family. My brother, he does the composting and the soil.
Aaron's also become a true believer.
So we got the bees because it seemed to go with the flower farm. You need the bees for the flowers. We've never done any of this. So it's been such a great learning experience, and the bees are producing so much delicious honey. It tastes like flowers. Oh, it's amazing.
But above all, it's a family affair with more on the horizon.
My daughter works here. My grandson's here every day. He's a year and a half. He runs all over the property. It's a nice way to have your grandson grow up.
We definitely want to share it. I think that's the beauty of if you can come to the farm and see, oh, there's the apple. I'm buying those apples right there. That's pretty great, you know. The solitude out here that you don't realize that you're still in the middle of Sacramento. While we're in the suburbs of Pocket, it's just quiet, tilling the earth with your hands. I don't know, it does something for you. It's great.
Now, your Bountiful landscapes.
Hi, California Bountiful flower fans. Are you ready for a fun autumn DIY craft project? Well, get ready for a little Turbo Farms pizzazz and create our signature succulent top pumpkin. To start, you'll need a few supplies. Grab a medium-sized pumpkin, spray glue, moss, a hot glue gun, and of course, succulents of your choice. Start by adding a generous amount of moss to the top of your pumpkin. Next, add larger, round-shaped succulents such as Echeveria with your hot glue gun. These are your focals. Then add smaller succulents and unique elements to your pumpkin such as grasses, poppy heads, straw flowers, and even feathers to your pumpkin. Everything you need to know about our specialty succulent top pumpkins is available at turbofarms.com, and find us on YouTube.
Still to come, the power of the plum. We take you to a farm where they're pitting a beauty breakthrough. And up next, a Central Valley dairy where they're not kidding around.
Did you know Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company? They're one of America's largest financial services companies, too. Just like I'm so much more than quarterback Peyton Manning. I'm also Peyton Manning.
It's lovely, Peyton.
Did you say Peyton or Peyton?
Peyton.
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 Great work.
Thank you. For your insurance and financial needs, Peyton, Nationwide is on your side.
California Farm Bureau's all-new podcast, Voice of California Agriculture, is streaming now. Tune in for the latest farm and food news, legislative updates, and more. Listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can also visit cfbf.com to access the podcast links.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Discover more California Bountiful and get social with us. See the stories we're working on and get a peek behind the scenes. Plus, more recipes and fun facts, and join other like-minded foodies and fans of California's bounty. Find, follow, and talk to us at CA Bountiful. Hey everybody, this is Paradise Goat Dairy, that is. Originally a startup with about 75 kids, the herd here now numbers in the thousands.
We were established in 2013 when I was 19 years old, freshly out of high school. Started this just with the dream of being in the dairy industry, but couldn't afford cows, so I actually went on a different route and started goats because I thought it was unique and different.
Tony Garcia Jr. always knew he wanted in on the dairy industry.
My family's been in the dairy industry for 40 years. I just always truly enjoyed it. So I wanted to continue on kind of what we're doing and building, a family engaged business where, maybe my kids will be able to take this over one day just and enjoy it as much as I do. One of our handyman that helps around, the farm, he always tell me, you need to start a goat dairy, you need to start a goat dairy. And then one day I ended up buying a goat and I was like, well, this might be my shot. And I slowly accumulated a few goats. I started off with, I bought one, then I bought 10 more. And before you know, I had 75 goats. I had to look for a market to go with my milk because now I'm milking goats with just feeding some calves with it. And didn't know what to do with where I was gonna go with it or, do. So I actually went to all the creameries in California and asked for a contract. It took me about 6 months, but after convincing them for a long enough period of time, I actually got the highest paying creamery at the time to take me on.
And getting that go has helped him breed success.
There's actually a pretty large demand that where us as producers can't even fill the market for what the market's needs are. It's a lot harder of an industry than people expect, so we have to be on our toes to make sure we're as efficient and productive as possible to be sustainable, because in California, as people know, it's getting tougher and tougher to be in business here. These animals are like trained athletes in my mind because they get a special diet. They have their own nutritionist that is tweaking their feed every week to making sure we're accommodating their needs. We're currently milking 2,000 goats. They get milked twice a day. We have a double 30 parlor, so we're milking 60 goats at a time. It's roughly about 13 minutes around. On a good day, we can milk 300 goats an hour through our parlor.
And while they go through the motions on the daily, goats tend to have a sly side too.
They are a lot friendlier. They're a lot more curious, and if there's a hole they can get out of, these goats are gonna get out of it. Like they're very sneaky animals, but they also got different personalities. They're funny.
But back to the milk. It's a market where demand is on the rise.
The creamery I ship my milk to, they make all kinds of things. They make whole milk, yogurts, kefir, butters, powder milk. I'd say the cheeses are my favorite, like the different flavored cheeses. I've tried some smoked ones, there's all kinds of different ones out there, I've had a yogurt, it's like a peach kefir yogurt that they make I think is incredible.
As for the future of Paradise Goat Dairy,
we plan on expanding a little bit just to be as efficient as possible. I think the goal is to milk 3,000 goats just because we have enough downtime in our parlor that will allow us to do that. I think the coolest thing about it is we're almost self-sustainable in a way. We grow our own crops and we're able to feed the animals, and the ultimate goal for the future is not to have to buy much products and like outside, grains and whatnot, and try to do as much in-house as possible. This is paradise. In my mind, the goats enjoy it, I enjoy it. It's on Paradise Road, so we couldn't think of a better name, and my biggest thing is making this as enjoyable as possible. If you can't enjoy what you do on a daily basis, then it's kind of pointless to do, in my mind.
If you're looking for a creamy and tangy way to boost both nutrition and flavor in your meals, then goat cheese might be your new secret ingredient. I'm Ashley Hogg, and as a dietitian, I love the fact that goat cheese contains a good amount of calcium, vitamin A, and protein per serving. This makes it a great way to support your bone health and overall well-being. I love that goat cheese is also versatile. It comes in both creamy and crumbly textures. It's great to add on top of a breakfast toast with a super salad, or you can make it the star in the center of your snack tray. Goat cheese and goat milk are both naturally lower in lactose. This makes it a great alternative for cow's milk for those that might struggle with lactose intolerance. For more nutrition tips and tricks and recipes, you can go to ashleyhoggrd.com or follow along on Instagram at ashleyhoggrd.
Pitted prunes are making way for plum perfection in a bottle. We bring you this skincare story after the break. You're watching California Bountiful.
Did you know Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company? They're one of America's largest financial services companies too. Just like I'm so much more than quarterback Peyton Manning. I'm also Peyton Manning.
It's lovely, Peyton.
Did you say Peyton or Peyton?
Peyton.
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 Great work.
Thank you. For your insurance and financial needs, Peyton, Nationwide is on your side.
The California Farm Bureau has protected the diverse agricultural interests in the Golden State for over a century. As part of the California Farm Bureau, you'll add your voice to the combined strength of over 34,000 farmers, ranchers, and families through our state. That means more connections, more influence, and more opportunity to fight for the issues that impact your life. With your support behind us, California Farm Bureau's robust government affairs, federal policy and farm pact, and legal teams work tirelessly to advocate at all levels of government, protecting and promoting our shared way of life. Together, California Farm Bureau and our members are standing up for farmers, ranchers, and families throughout the Golden State every day, working to cultivate a bountiful future for all Californians.
All prunes begin as plums, but not all plums can be prunes. And when it comes to this skincare brand, some of their plum ingredients can only come from this farm.
La Prunier is based on the power of plums. Dried plums are inherently extremely antioxidant rich. They're actually 6 and 8 times stronger than argan and marula oil at defending against hydroxyl radical damage. An awesome experience to see taking the plum all the way through a skincare product.
All of our products contain a patented plum-based ingredient that is specific just to La Prunier and our family farm. So quite literally, you cannot source it anywhere else.
Meet the Taylor sisters, 3 siblings using innovative ideas to expand their family's farming legacy that began with a single seed 4 generations ago.
Real plums, and this land has been in our family for over 100 years, so it's something that we have, we've been stewards of the land, we've cultivated healthy soil, it's a regenerative, vertically integrated farm, essentially. The land has definitely grown and changed over the years. The farm really started from humble beginnings, but I credit my father with really having the foresight to focus primarily on organic dried plums. And so now we operate as one of the largest growers in the world, and my sisters and I have started a skincare line based on the byproducts.
From cultivation to cold pressing, main ingredients in Les Pruniers are upcycled pits of dried plums sourced from the family's farm.
Our Plum Beauty Oil has a multitude of benefits, from helping with hyperpigmentation, dry spots, age spots, you name it.
There's their signature Plum Beauty Oil, an award-winning Plum Screen SPF, and the Plum Body.
It's something that we each have to collectively love, use, and because if we don't love the product, how is it that we expect others to like it? So it's something that across the board, all of us test, try out, the whole family, we make sure everybody loves it. And so all of our products are very intentional, and we make sure they're beautifully created.
And ready to ensure quality control is a proud papa.
He's so proud of my sisters and I, especially he's been in the industry for 45 plus years. He grew up on the plum farm here.
I quite literally put a pitch deck together, and I proposed it to my father, and I said, hey, here are the numbers, I think this makes sense. Currently this is waste. And he said, okay, it was something novel, different, because of course traditionally he focuses on the edible plum, and skincare is just a totally different sector. And we joke he quite literally should be the poster child for Le Prunier, because his skin is so, it's radiant, and he truly eats prunes every single day. And he's got an entire pump of Plum Beauty Oil on his sink that he will press, and he applies it every single morning.
The trio also received an organic boost via social media.
100% pure plum oil, made in California, and I used it all day.
Chrissy Teigen talked about it online. It was very unexpected, but it sold out around the world. We had a wait list of 30,000 people. It was insane, and we were not expecting it, so it was actually right in the middle of us rebranding packaging, so we were low on inventory, which couldn't have been worse.
Ah, the power of Les Pruniers.
It's, a fruit that's loved by many, it's recognized by most, and then so certainly for the skincare, that's a newer segment, but I think people are now really focusing in on the benefits of the plums, and it's very exciting to see it, kind of develop here and expand around the world.
We have a very exciting 2025, a lot of newness, and really building upon our current products, so keeping that throughput of all, hypoallergenic, good for the entire family, and really great for, both men and women, and pregnancy safe as well too.
It's a personal journey for the Taylor sisters, steeped in familial tradition.
We recently just launched our first home goods product, which was a candle called Harvest Smoke. We wanted to introduce candles as a nod to the family farm. We wanted to bring the actual smell and the fragrance and the feeling of being on the farm during harvest season. So it smells like yummy, rich plums. It smells like a little bit of smoke, cedar wood, and some floral orris. So it's really, really lovely.
While also pitting a new path infused with their homegrown plum passion.
They're my best friends. There's no one that I trust more in the world.
And we're going to end the show with that plum perfection. We'll be back to share more great ag stories next week. Remember, you can also find us online at CaliforniaBountiful.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.